Greetings, everyone. Happy Motivational Monday. Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is I, Dr. Chef, also known as Dr. Felicia and Hill. It is a pleasure to be able to be here once again on this Motivational Monday. All right. I give you all the time to tune in. And while I go in on Facebook as well, the Instagram. I was having issues with signing in to that. So I wasn't able to go in at the same time. So as I wait for some of you all to tune in and realize that I am in, then I'm going to go ahead and make sure. Yeah, fine. Greetings, happy mode. Okay, so it came in already. It's lagging, you all. And it's okay. All right. I had to make sure that I have my Facebook family and friends tuned in as well. You all, I'm going to give you all a little time enough to come in. Yes, I am in a different location, getting more work done. You all, thank you so much for whoever it is that's tuning in. All right, now I have to get this started for Greetings, everyone. This is I, Dr. Chef, tuning in for Motivational Monday. Come on, join on in so you can get your inspiration and your good, healthy spiritual talk with me, Dr. Chef, on this Motivational Monday. And please like and share for those who you think that this would be a great help for. Of course, as you know, I freestyle with that I believe to be encouraging. I also do make sure that I say as many prayers that I can for loved ones and friends and newcomers and those who are now new and prescribing in on this Motivational Monday. I'm going to try to prop you all for Facebook. Please forgive me for not having that set already. However, I have to make it. As I say, you got to use what you got to get what you want. And you got to do the best that you can with what you're working with. Well, that's what I'm doing today. And yes, it takes some motivation to do that, y'all. And say, yep, not look, I don't have those have it set up like so many of us that where I'm able to just take and have all these professionals to set up everything. A lot of us do not. So I do appreciate for those of you all that deem anything, any good words and any inspiration that I have to share with you all for taking out the time to tune in. Please like share. But just not get started. I plan to be in for at least about an hour at least, unless there's those who tune in now and later that may have something that they may say. I am going to incorporate allowing us to you all time enough to still ask health questions, as you all know. And for those who may tune in, I have to share it. Sometimes there are newcomers that don't know. I am, yes, a naturopathic practitioner, holistic practitioner. Yes, I do chef. However, I have put that on hold as of this past year due to my moving professionally and personally moving that I had to do. So much changes that took place after the passing of my daughter to the point to where I've had to shift so much, but it was good and it was healing for my soul. This has led me to be encouraged enough to be able to do Motivational Monday and have it for you all because I myself needed this motivation at a very, very, very trying time and difficult time in my life, not to, just a few years ago. And I found through being inspired and motivated by others, it has encouraged me to want to do the same for you all. It is a name and something I came up with while discussing it with a few people that I had known. And so I didn't have that, as they say, I didn't have the privy to just sit back and just give up because of you all. For those of y'all, the few that do tune in, it was you all that inspired me to continue to share my testimony, to continue to be an inspiration, and not to just allow Satan or life changes and tragic incidents and crises in my life to stop me from being who God originally created me to be. before those tests and those trials came in my life. So for those who all wonder, why does she do this? What is she doing? Why does she give these talks? Why did she try to help others when she is going through things herself? Well, I believe that this is what life is about. This life is about, well, each and every last one of us have a purpose that we have to fulfill in our lives. And it's up to us, you, yourself, and me, myself, to figure that out. And once you figure it out, you walk in that path. And then you would find out that once you figure that out for yourself, for those who are not naturally encouragers, or those that like to inspire others, if that's just not what's naturally in you, I believe that was naturally in me. I've always wanted to see people do well. I can remember as young as being 3 and just seeing the inspiration that I had in my heart and my mind at 3 years old when I would watch my youngest auntie, my mother's youngest sister, Michelle, um, Michelle Denise. She unfortunately she was diagnosed with arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, when she was about 8 going on 9. And since we visited a lot at the time, my mom would take us to visit her mother, my grandmother, Willie Mae, which we call her Mel. Um, we would go visit. I remember seeing her and watching the progression of her ankle swelling. And that's when, looking back over my life, when I realized I just had it in me to try and encourage and to try to inspire anyone that was going through a trying time to not give up, but to keep pushing. And it helped. For almost, she made it to 40 some years of life. Hey, the great is there. Sister Sybil, thanks a lot. Excellent afternoon, my beloved sister. Remember, you will see your hallelujah daughter and your light of your life mother. God bless you and your family. Now, in the name of the mighty name of Jesus, amen, 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 amen. Okay. Well, I know one thing. Until that time come, I believe that they live within me, and this is a motivation as well too. But back to when I realized that I did. Thank you so much, Sister Silva. I appreciate that. This is the time for those who all that want to share that are not driving or not working. If you want to put something in the chat, if you go into the chat section and you want to put something encouraging, I would like to encourage you all to do so. You never know what people are going through. Today has been a pretty peaceful day for me thus far. And so I am not feeling like, oh, it's just so hard today to be able to do what I need to do in order to inspire you all today. However, I must say, I most definitely feel that it's something that's needed every day, because every day everyone, you may not be personally experiencing something out of the ordinary, or something that's hard or something, or need that extra encouragement. But I can promise you there's someone that you don't know, co-worker, another family member, someone that may need it. So please like and share. That helps to build the channel and for me to be able to help more people. That being said, back to my auntie. I just remember when when her ankle started to swell more and more. Remember, I got used to, as a toddler, us going outside playing, sitting on the porch, doing frisbee, just walking, along the side of the street with my other auntie Louise, and how they would help, and how the walk. It was just something as simple as walking, you all, that made me to understand as a toddler, 3, 4, 5 years of age, to see that there was something that was changing, that clearly this thing that was swelling up her ankle was causing her to not to be able to walk. So there, as a little time went by, we would visit every summer. I noticed she would start to say that she can't walk. This is when I remember thinking to myself, because she was so smart to me at that time, of course. She knew more than I did, even though she's a child. But in my mind, I was not seeing her as just a child. I was seeing her as my auntie. And I'm like, no, you got to walk, because I'm used to her walking. After all, she's the one that helped teach me how to walk. Because my mother had me around the family at the time. So they all taught me how to walk. So who knew that at the age of 3, going on 4 or 5 years old, that I would wind up having to encourage her to walk. See how that worked out? And so, because I had to think about it, why come I feel like I can't stop encouraging people? Why come it feels like it feels so unnatural when I see someone struggling, not to give them a good word or a positive word? Why? Why is that? And I'm not going to lie, I've gotten in trouble for it a couple of times, you all, a few times. Oh, why you so? Because and not everyone is ready for that. They feel like you just I don't know. I guess there's a thing where sometimes when people get used to wallowing in their pity, or you get used to wallowing in your shame, or my goodness, if they figure out that through begging, or that through pity, or through making you feel like you're going through a lot and you're doing so much, there's a benefit in it, you all, sometimes. See how that worked? Like when my daughter passed, you all some gave, and some called in. It was a lot of cards and a lot of condolences. And her birthday will be, I'm waiting out for it, y'all. It's right around the corner. It's next week on the 17th. Well, the week after next on the 17th. And so I know the time is coming. And so I'm ready for it, you all. But I remember thinking to myself that I know I cannot stay down forever. I can't take a long break. And the adversary will have it to where you all thought that I was taking a break, and I was not. I was actually, the break was being made to be very difficult for me. I had the adversary there just still pressing my mind, still trying to tell me that I have to continue on, basically like it didn't happen. Oh yeah. And then the adversary had me set to where, and I'm calling it the adversary on purpose because that's what it is. Because in my mind, no real human being that's operating out of the love of God would ever be that insensitive. But nevertheless, that was my test at that time. And so I didn't get a chance to really, truly have what some people have experienced, or a lot of people may have experienced, was just a moment of just pure comfort without having to think about, you need to just get over it and keep working, keep making this money. And so I'm so thankful that now that's approaching 2 years of her transitioning, and the same happened with my mother. Basically, I was put on a time schedule. Basically, that's what it sounded like to me. Anytime you're asked, how long do you think you're going to grieve, or how long you're going to do that, and your daughter's just passed a day, just the next day, I got asked that question. And that rings in my head, and all I could think of was, do I throw a pity party about this? Do I tell the world, or do I make the decision? Because it is a decision, you all. It's a decision to actually make it through trying times. Trust and believe me, it is a choice. You have to literally God for strength to help you to make it through the trying time, when it feels and when it sounds like you have Satan sitting right there beside you, or evil spirit sitting right there beside you, wanting all of the attention for themselves, wanting to right. You literally have to choose to say, no, I will not live in this type of pitifulness. I will not live in this type of strange stress. I will not, I will not, I will rise above. And so, and this is how I see any test that come my way, any. And yes, that sets us up sometimes when we share these things. I know it sets us up to get more, it seems like to get tested more. But nevertheless, no, my job, my quest, I believe my purpose is to not to allow the adversary, or for evil thoughts, or for things that come to weigh us down and to knock us off our feet, to allow it to be your place where your mind we allow our minds to get us in a place to where we accept defeat. You can't. Yes, it may start off slow. Oh yeah, this is a big one, y'all. I never wanted to get over on social media and do things like this. Yes, I admit it. I never wanted to the spotlight. I love it when we're together as a people. I mean, everybody's in gathering together. That's what I am. I'm a team player. I'm a family. Come from a big family, so I'm used to everybody shining together. Even when I was married, I was used to the shine together, and I was criticized for that sometimes too. But how many of you know, once again, you have to have that, you really do have to choose to love God, love people, love yourself enough to understand that. Like I would tell one of my children sometimes when they would seem like they had a little bit of selfish moments at the time that was very critical, I'm saying, no, this is what you have to remember, my dear. The sun doesn't just shine on you. The world does not just only revolves around you. I tell them it revolves around everybody. Everybody. This way, I know we live in this world where we put everybody up on the pedestal, and yes, but the only people that I ever really truly understood from a biblical standpoint that we were supposed to be putting on the pedestal was really truly when it says honor thy mother and thy father. Give honor to those to whom it is due. And the honor, that didn't mean that you honor every day. The honor, most of the honor goes to God because we serve a jealous God, you all. For those that tune in that are believers in God. I know that some may tune in and you may be feeling a little doubtful right now because of what you're seeing that's going on in the world, the election, and with a whole lot of the famine that's all over the world. And then when we look at what they're doing with our food and how they're destroying things. And so going back to how I knew that this had to be something that God had placed in me at a young age, because watching that auntie struggle and limp and finally get to a place where it swole her ankle up to a point where she could no longer play outside with us like she wanted to or walk normal like she could. I remember saying, no, auntie, come on, I'll help you. You can walk with me. And I remember her sniggling with tears in her eyes. I didn't know as a child the pain that she was encountering. I didn't know what arthritis felt like. It was rare for a child to get arthritis at that time. Now I know that it was rare. At that time, I didn't know that it was rare. And so as I'm sitting here trying to encourage her and saying, you can lean on me. Come on, you walk with me. I remember sometimes she would do it. And other times it would just be too hard for her to bear it. And she would finally get to a place of where she would just sit in the chair. Sometimes it still bring tears to my eyes thinking about it. But it's tears of joy, because I remember that as time went by, from the age of 4 to 5 of encouraging her to walk, that it came a time when I got married and had my children, that she finally moved in the same town for me or right across the street from me. And she had to undergo major surgery because being on all of the different medications, it took her to a place where it started to cause all of her body to deteriorate. So she went through having knee transplants. She went through having hip surgeries and things of that nature. And so she got to a place where, since she knew that I had nursing assistant background and home health care background at the time, she would say, well, I only trust you to come and work with me this way since you're a stay-at-home mom now. And since I just had my baby, she was like, well, I could pay you part-time to come in and help me. And I promise you, God gave me the strength. This is the power of encouraging one another, you all. And now I'm just simply doing it over the internet, just talking to you all, because I still had to speak to her, y'all. I had to speak to her, and this is why now I'm going to elevate it to giving consultations. Once again, the consultations and the special, before I finish the story, the consultation and the special for the month of September, you all. And again, happy born day to the beautiful kings and queens and beautiful children born in the month of September. Oh, I can't even sing you all songs because I get to go tearing up. Y'all know I usually from time to time I'll get happy enough to sing a birthday song for our September or for those who born in certain months. But y'all give me a little time, bear with me, because I don't feel like crying. Not this minute. That I'm saying that to say that I didn't know that I would wind up encouraging her 30 some years later to get her first job. And she was working as a medical assistant secretary at a hospital right up the street from her. She got back on her feet after surgery. And yes, I was already practicing natural health things at the time, but because of the drugs, the prescription drugs, and how many was prescribed to her, she found it too difficult at that time to go the completely holistic and natural way. She tried, but it was just too challenging for her. Greetings, hey there. I can't see who that is. It's too new. Whoever that is, greetings. That look loud to say. I know it's a sister, so that's why I'm giving my kisses. And so I realized, and she was so happy. She made her most money. She was still able to get a disability. And so it was through that time. And I had just had my daughter Deja at the time, which she is 24. Thank God. He blessed her to see her 24th birthday in July. And then now my son Kenneth, you all, thank you all so much for your prayers, and continue to keep him in your prayers. He was blessed to see his 25th birthday on September the 6th, which actually fell on Labor Day in 1999. And so you all continue to keep him in prayers, that God bless him to be able to walk in the path, total path, and be the inspiration that God has birthed him to be. That he was just that always as a child. He's an excellent, beautiful writer. He's really inclined into his music world, and he's a mentor himself, a youth mentor himself. And yes, watching his mother go through, and his father in the decline of his dad's health, has most definitely given him a mind to want to make a difference as well in life. But we know how it works, you all. When the adversary know that once you wake up, that you finna destroy his kingdom, you know that means a lot of tests come, right? And so thankfully he has learned that, and he's learning that still today. And the same for my daughter, same thing. She just kept a really beautiful spirit, and that's the reason why I wanted, hey there, Lashita's good to see you. Wow. Send the greetings to the family, First Lady Bond. And so I wanted to make, and she knew I was telling that story about my Auntie Michelle, and that's where I first learned how to be inspirational. Sister Lashita on Facebook, she knows, she basically, while we wasn't there, she filled in the gap as being the niece to my Auntie Michelle. She's also a missionary at their church, and really, really good friends. And so I was sharing, Lashita, how that's why I first learned how to inspire as a little girl, was watching Auntie Michelle struggle and go through her journey with her body declining with the health issues of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. And that's when I really looked back over my life and wondered, well, why do I have to do this? Why do I feel like I have to do it? Because, a lot of people say, oh, because God told me to do it. Growing up in churches and having a mother that's missionary and that was encouraging as well. And then a grandmother that was very encouraging, and another grandmother that was very encouraging, and was rightfully so some of the most sweetest and most spiritual minded and really endowed, really pillars of their community. For anyone that came to them, I know that God blessed me to have a mind through DNA, but also through his just pure love. And that's what's important, that you all, if you notice that you got that about you, I want to encourage you to do that too. You just never know who you're helping. You never know. I get regular calls on a regular basis with those who are going through things. And I'm not saying that it's a happy-go-lucky job all the time or work, but I promise you in the end, when someone says they feel better, oh my God, that they feel like they can go on to the next bout, or that they no longer have the mentality that I want to take my life, or that I'm wondering when God is going to allow my life to end. You have to know that nothing is more important than that. You can't make money. You can't take care of your family. You can't go to work. You can't do anything that is normal with the mentality that I'm not going to be motivated. Motivate just means to move, to make something happen, you all, to be inspired, to continue to do a work that prayerfully that's good for you. That's what it means. And so it only makes sense that, yes, regardless of the fact that my mother's no longer here, and my daughter's not here, I can't stop because of that. And somebody said, well, why she speaks about that all the time? Because that's the very thing that the adversary would love to try to use in order to make. Now, I can't get bothered about failed relationships, because God had blessed me to be able to see that the adversary, that was the plan from the adversary as well. God just was going to continue to get his glory no matter what, because of the gifts that he had placed within me and myself and others. So he's going to get his glory no matter what. But unlike my other counterpart, I personally don't believe, and I pray that you all see that within yourself too. And now I am speaking to those you all that are married. But when you're a couple and you all have different gifts and abilities to do things, and then you find out that you wind up mating with someone that could, unfortunately, the adversary is working on them while it's trying to use different tactics to be able to get you to actually be apart from each other. And I pray that you all identify that. For those you all that tune in that are married, hey there, Sister Candy, good to see you. Greetings to the family. Thank you so much for the happy birthday for Kenna. That you all recognize that before it's too late, because the scripture does say what God has put together, let no man put us under. See, I won't allow the adversary to make me not believe in that. But the question is, you have to truly know that. And I am qualified because I have a total of 15 years of marriage underneath my belt that I had at the time. And so I learned a little something, you all. I learned a little something before the adversary got his hands, stick his hands right in the midst of it. I learned something. I learned that we have to identify, and the reason why I'm tackling this, because this is what actually gets mostly to the minds of our women, our sisters, and especially when you're a mother. And I've been a mother, so this part I'm just sharing with you all. This is not coming from a professional book. It's not coming from Psychology 101 or 102. This is coming from just mere experience, that if you don't identify that thing right then and there, and then this is also for any of the husband couples that tune in as well. If you don't identify that together and work on that together and push out all of the outside entity, that even means money. That means exes, if there are exes in the midst of it. That also means wayward children. That means any family members or relatives or friends that are not walking in the same path that you and your mate is in. I'm telling you now, that's an antidote for failure. Some of you all that may be tuning in now and later, you may realize that because you may have experienced a divorce already. You may be separated. And yes, it does take two. It takes two. Some of us as Christians, we raised to believe that yes, there's a scripture that says that the saved spouse can help the unsaved spouse to overcome. No, that unsaved spouse that unbelieving spouse has to have a mind to want to be that themselves. And my God, it gets more complicated. I've learned that it gets more complicated when two gifted people come together, two people with abilities, because now you're fighting, a lot of times you're fighting against selfishness. A lot of times you're going to fight against jealousy, especially when both people are those who seem to be popular amongst each other. And this is the reason why social media does not help in that manner, because we open up the portal. Every time we open up these internets, you all know what I'm talking about. We open up the portal, and I'm going to get back to the story of encouragement. We open up the portal. So I pray that this helps someone on Motivational Monday, and I pray that it really motivate you all to really think about that when all of us have our phones and your spouse has been there for a couple of hours and you on the phone for a couple of hours, but you can only give your spouse 1 hour of time because what? You got too comfortable? No. And that same goes for if you have underage children or even adult children that may need your time. The phones now and this internet has taken us away. And I know some of you all know, but I have to say it for myself because it's on my heart and my mind to say it, so I'm going to share it. The phones, this internet, anytime when you're not looking for something that's really truly encouraging and helping for yourself and for those of you all that are that's actually an entire family, is set there to distract you from what is most important. Because when that internet goes out, who do you have to deal with? I think COVID taught us that. COVID showed us that for those who was actually truly that was in relationships that actually cared about their mates, they actually took it as an opportunity to get to know their mates all over again. And there were those who actually, because they were already tired of their mates, that chose that, oh, okay, since I got the internet, I'm going to use this time so I can find me a new mate. Y'all, I had existed in the world of being a new mate during the time of COVID. Yeah, I can say it now. Tell the truth and put the devil to shame. I was a prodigy of that and didn't even know it because of the great work that was set before me. So the adversary used that time of me working and the time of me actually finally getting the ashes to my father, the anniversary of this past month, August, because that's when it happened. The transition happened. And it wasn't a drawn out anything, you all. It just happened so quick, so fast. But the adversary knew to get me at my most tired and my most heartfelt and most weakest states in my life, to get me to make a vow to something that was not, I'm going to say it, yes, that was not meant for me. To work with someone is one thing, but to marry them is another. And we all have to learn how to not to be so taboo and not to get out of this place of fantasy world. And just because we have these platforms of trying to paint this perfect picture, because then, see, I had to deal with that too, knowing that every time a picture is even taken, every time a post is being posted, every time a commercial is being ran, that this creates this picture that something is perfect when it is not. And yes, I had to, it forced me to learn that just because you have something in common with a person, that's not good enough either. It still all goes back to the root of where is your heart? And where would you need to have the love of God in your heart for? What role what role is more greater than marriage? What role is more greater than when a parent when a mother or a woman or a man becomes a parent? That's going to take all of the love of God, all of the definition of love, patience, kindness, endurance, long suffering. It's going to take everything if you believe in the language of love according to the scriptures. That takes all of it, but it can't be one-sided, and it can't just be for show, and it can't just be for the love of money. Both people even have to be on the page of for the love of money. It says, how can two walk together except they agree? And it can't be only when there's not a crisis taking place. It can't be that because of your mother died, now I'm worried and now I'm afraid that I'm going to have to help you through this process of being sad sometimes. It can't be just things are going good and great. Those of y'all that's tuned in that's been married, y'all know that it just be that. That's how you know whether or not you are set and you are one that is actually designed to even be married, because you learn how to put someone else before you. And it's not just before the social media platforms just so you can make money or just so you can make your ex upset. You see what I'm saying? All of these things matters. And so I'm saying that I knew that even after going through all that, while having to deal with the mourning and the passing of my daughter, that, hey, God was still trying to get to me and get to my brain and my mind and say, little young girl, I know what I created you for. I saw this happening too. And through your pain and through your suffering, you were going to have to still see my face. You were going to have to still seek my face. You were still going to have to go back to the beginning when you learned how to look up to the sky and say, Father, help me. So I pray on this Motivational Monday that through me sharing this and being open and transparent with you all, that you all think about whatever it is, the test that you're going through today, whatever happened yesterday, last week, that comes up to perplex the mind, that comes up to make you want to stop the good work that God has begun in you. I'm here to encourage you to say to don't do it. Because it's the only thing that's going to fulfill, that's going to help draw the same spirit, the same goodwill, the same inspiration back to you. You can only reap the benefits when you don't give up. The scripture came to mind before I came on, that he reigned on the just as well as the unjust. And of course, naturally, because I'm a human being, naturally I thought about somebody that had been unjust to me and how they were willing to apologize for me, but not to the public. They were willing to break down in detail because they were a writer how much they knew that they basically bulldozed over my life at the most worstest time. But they weren't willing to actually lay out this that really could have helped a lot of you all that's tuning in today and those all over the world, because I know that it was more than me that was experiencing this. And maybe one day it may happen once the level of maturity get there, or when God opens up the heart enough. Let me say it like that. Maybe one day it'll happen, and I will be so happy, not just because of the full truth that's coming out, but because I can only imagine just how many chains and how many marriages and how many people and families will be strengthened and will be encouraged to not give up. Yeah, I said it. Now, you know it has to be God, because I know there are many that once they encounter the loss of mother, children, and loss of relationships, that they automatically go cold and they say, forget this. Since God didn't shine on me, and after I tried to do this and I tried to do that, we get self-righteous. We want to be able to say that we don't want to see nobody happy now. Well, that's not I. That's clearly not I. So I have to remain thankful to my Creator, to God, for that, because I realize that that's not in my heart. And it's just something when you can just tell when something is beyond you, when something is beyond your circumstances, when something is beyond, when you have those dreams at night, when you sit back and you meditate and you actually hear about all of the different stories, or you may even be encountering with friends and family members, and you see how they're snap, crackling, and popping. Can I say it like that? They're losing it. They're on drugs. They sprung out. They became an alcoholic for it because of their child passed away. Don't you know that I know that I'm blessed even if my fingers are naked? Don't you know that I realize that I am still blessed? And I'm saying the same to you all that has experienced it. See, some of you all tuning in, you may not have experienced it. I'll praise be to God that you haven't had to. But there may be some that tune in later. That's the reason why I say like, share. You never know, because I know that the divorce rate is extremely high here in America. And since COVID alone, we have lost more mothers and more parents. I mean, every time I click on some, I'm hearing about different ones that lost their mother around about the same time I lost my mom. And yes, even though people are dying every day, this one we know was more of an experimentation, more of a, even though we've been experimenting in the environment every day. But this one was because of the urgency that was placed on us doing something different to our bodies that were not going to be healthy for us. It took a toll on more people than it would have usually have done it. And guess what, you all? Satan's not done. It's getting ready to try to repeat it again this come October, as soon as May. If not by the end of this month, by next month, you're going to hear about another strand of virus. They've already put the propaganda out in other parts of the world. But you know how it is with America being representing basically the kings and queens of this one-eyed monster, or of this thing called the internet, the web. We know that once it hits here, then now it goes more global. Everywhere else, it doesn't seem like it's bothering us as much because we're the great Americans, right? So I'm sharing it with you now, and you already know that they got another virus strand that's already coming out. And so this is the reason why I told different ones to call in. Those you all want to sign in, yes, I'm going to take a little bit of break right here to get off of the inspiring you all for as far as keeping your families together, but more so also to let you all know that I am for Wellness Wednesday. For those of y'all that didn't get a chance to tune in for the last Wellness Wednesday, I do have a special going on where you can sign up for $25 to be able to help protect you and your family, especially for those of you all that are not on your all fruit healing way of eating lifestyle and you're not completely plant-based. This particular product was designed to be able to help with mucus buildup and kill off virus and to boost the immune system up to over that 4% that is supposed to be, so that your family can fight off. Because once again, due to the scare of the sea, then that time, as you all see, the stress of different ones, so like they couldn't go back to work unless they took a jab. All of that played a major role as well. The children that were already sick. I know I had young sick children that I was dealing with, and one parent decided that they wanted to get a jab and constantly have the children checked. And while I didn't have to participate in that because I wasn't part of that matrix. As you all know, that's tuning in now, and those who turn in later, I was against the matrix, and I still am, because it's just something that was already shown in the vision that we were going to have to go through it. But as we know, since most of us don't operate from that spiritual spirit, from the spiritual eyes, we operate off of let's wait to see what CNN is going to say. Let's wait and see what Joe Rogan is going to say. Look, and that was my dilemma. I couldn't even go off of all the different things that you all seen posted at that time. I was in a prayer setting mindset of goal. I was set sometimes, and I would just look something. Once I get out of prayer, I would look at and I said, well, this is ridiculous. This is set up to confuse everybody. And now we know once people get confusion, and we know who the author of confusion is, evil entities, evil minds, that people are going to actually respond out of panic. And I was even tested with understanding that there's money to be made off of people when they're in a panic. I'm here to encourage you all for this little commercial segment that I'm doing personally myself to say you don't wait for the panic. I know some of y'all tuning in. I know you all are already prepared, but there's others that tune in afterwards that may not be. So I have to share that. Don't wait for the panic. Don't wait till October. Sign up as soon as you can. If you have to wait till October, I understand, but call the 618-388-8100 number or via text. Sister Lashida, please spread that to the rest of the family as well. I will be sharing it with Auntie Louise. They are aware of it, but you all may not be. Thanks, and thanks so much for tuning in. Send my love to the family. But you all can tune in for $25. You can become a part of my team. You can work it as a business, or you have the option just to work to be able to get your discount. Either way, you and your family have a very unique spray that, once again, that you can use, that you get high benefits of boosting your immune system, that does not taste nasty, and that is a full 30-day supply, and that works within 24 to 48 hours. You can't beat that. And the shipment is really fast and quick. How it's set up is that if you try to purchase through me and you want to sign in, all you do is you text me your name and your the best time to contact you, and then and just say for the immune spray or say for a spray. I'm gonna make it simple for you all and say I want to sign up so my family can have access to this, because as you all know, here in America, if you don't know now, you know. I'm gonna say it again. It's only a few companies, 4 to 5, that has been able to afford to fight against the big pharma, all of the different fines for them to boost the immune system and help as well. Now, for those of you all that want to just sipping on honey and your lemon and your tea, and that's what works for you, because then all praises be to God. Good. But for those of you all that know that you're going to be around work environment, church environment, communities, and you know that your immune system can't fight that off, and you know that you have elderly parents and aunties that cannot, you work in very toxic environments, you know that you can't, then I encourage you all to please call in so that you can your immune booster. And the reason why I'm doing it like this instead of just holding and saying, here you all can have this, just buy it from me, is because that guarantee that the company with their bigger production can ship out in a more timely than I can for certain ones. But when I do purchase my set, you all will know and be able to purchase directly from me. It would be $40 at that time because of the charging for shipping and handling, which means that I'm not making no profit. I only make my profit after I get mine in bulk, and they just give me a discount. That discounted amount goes straight to my back office so I can have enough spray. So if you all run out or you all cannot get through and you don't want to go through the company, then that just means that I'll be able to send it to you. That is how this works, okay? So please text, I want to have the immune booster. That's that be the case. And then also Sister Tyra Thompson. Shalom, Sister Tyra. Good to see you. Sister Dorothy. Happy birthday. Oh my God, you look so beautiful. Sister Dorothy, happy birthday to you. I did see that. I just love it that you made it too. I should have known that you was a September baby. Yes, those who are that want to take advantage of that, also Sister Tyra Thompson, if she wants to give a contact in, and you all can contact her through, if you want to leave an email address, she's also signing up people, or can, and then she's able to get in direct contact with me as well, and we will be formulating a team so that we can have access to it, simply because it's good, it works, it's great, and because once again the shipping and handling, the shipping can be sent to you all a lot faster. Okay, that's how urgent this really is, and that's how much trust I have in this particular product. Okay, enough of that. Back towards no problem. Back towards the reason why that's so important to incorporate this, based off of what I was just sharing with you all about us knowing how to identify when the adversary is trying to attack your marriage, trying to attack your family, trying to attack everything that is good, that's normal in your life for us to have. Is because sickness is the number one cause that causes this is the issue. Like I said, a lot of the upset happened when my mother passed, and a lot of it happened when the children were sick, and then the next bout was when my daughter passed. And so, but this is when you learn yourself. This is when you're able to learn and see where you stand spiritually and naturally as far as your strength is concerned. This is how you find out your true character, is when you're able to stick with your family and be there for them in a time of adversity, not worrying so much about money, not worried about who's going to see me, not worried about whether or not I'm going to be able to be the next great I am, but yet you are in the place where you understand responsibilities, where you understand that we are nothing if we do not have each other. You're nothing. And then to try to get to a place where you think that you can recreate that somewhere else without getting the first foundation right, that doesn't work either. Yes, once again, he reigns on the just as well as the unjust, meaning that when it rains, my crop, even though I may be feeding the homeless, is going to get some water, you all. It's going to be blessed to flourish. But so is my neighbor that may be running a sex trade, criminal activity. They could be drug dealers. It's going to rain on their grass too, and their fruit's going to grow too if they have a garden too. But guess what? The judgment of God for them not using those, making sure that they become good farmers or feeding their people. And that's what it's drug dealers that do good deeds too. Just like it's false prophets and false preachers that do more good, healthy deeds in order to overshadow their sins. It does not work like that. You always still going to be judged. You still have to correct your wrongs. So that way the test don't have to be so great. That way you don't have to worry about having a suicidal mentality, or you don't have to worry about trying to overwork yourself to try to cover your sins. That way we don't have to worry about needing to be overly motivated because you still carrying all of that weight on you. Release that stuff, y'all. Release it. You never know how many people you're actually helping. And I know you can't release it to everybody because some people will take and use it, but come on, y'all. That's part of the whipping. That's part of the chastisement, so that you don't have to feel comfortable enough to think that because you slick like that, or because you think that you're doing this great work, that means that, nobody will care about what I've done. Have we not learned the lessons from Bishop T.D. Snakes and Jakes? And have we not learned the lesson from their brother Kirk Franklin? The brother came out and he admitted what it was that he was doing wrong. He knew that he would lose a lot of people, but look at how many more people that were struggling with his sins that he gained. Yeah, I'm saying it for a reason, y'all. Look how many more. If it's about the gaining the world and bringing people to God, and if it's truly about wanting people to hear you, then you get to that level. You got to come down to that level We all like to go to children because children don't always judge us. They don't know to get into grown folks' business. I said it. I work with children all my life. Still is to this day. We know that anytime people are poor and $1 would stretch or $5 would stretch, it's easy to convince them to love you. It's easy. It's easy. But my God, when you get to the wealthy and those who are able to Google something and find out a little something about you, they're able to dig a little bit and find out that you're not the perfect being that you place yourself out to. That it's not just about food. It's not just about the occupation that you have. It's not just about that. You're more than that. They find out that you're a human being, that you have flaws, and you can't just say, I have flaws. You see how we get, think about it. You see how we get real technical when we want our, when we want our health regimen, y'all. You see how technical we get when we want to be counseled and how the counselor asks you all these personal questions. Look how personal you all have to get when you call in to a consultation. Yeah, I like to make our people think. Yes, I do. I know it's unpopular. I know. But know that that's not one-sided. And then you have those that sit back and they'll ask you. Some of the best of them, though, will ask you. They will ask you, they say, now, do you have any questions for me? Because I want to know who's teaching me. Who? What is your character? So that I can understand what spirit you are truly of. Now, granted, if we are impulsive liars, then of course an impulsive liar and habitual liar can lie good enough to convince you that they are good and they only mean you well. We have a lot of that in the world today. They're called false prophets, and they're called those wolves in sheep clothing. Y'all have heard me talk about this before, because this is what's going to matter in a time of adversity. I wouldn't dare want to be in the hands of this next wave that's about to come, want to be in the hands of someone that because they have food to give me, or because even in my case where we have something to help heal your body, then you realize you have gotten into account that now they want your young daughter, that now they're going to try and have your son in a place to where they're not supposed to be, because they got to move all the men out the way because a grown man know another grown man, or a grown woman can size up another grown woman. I wouldn't dare want to be gathering together and unifying in a place to where now I'm in this destitute place because I'm trying to run away from Satan. I'm trying to run away from chastisement to the point to where now I have to put myself completely in the hands of the adversary. I know some of us feel like that when we're in our homes. If you're in what we call an unequally yoked marriage, I've been there, done that. Been there. I know what entrapment feels like. When you realize that you in the hands of someone that's really not covering you, is really not protecting you. They do it with lip service, but their hearts are desperately wicked, and only you know it because you're the only one that got to sleep with them. I've been there and done that. My prayers every day go out for any of my brothers and sisters that's dealing with that, because it's not just always men. Sometimes it's us women. Sometimes. But I'm saying because the adversary is after our men more, let me be transparent. Because they're after them more, especially those who want glory, fame, and attention. And the social media is giving that to them. Because people don't know you. But once they get a chance to see the ugly and and as they say, they pull behind that veil, will you repent? Or will you truly be one that would or will you be one that'll rev up? Well, y'all Negroes ain't no good either. Your fat back chicken eating up. Y'all, will you be that woman that because of it's found out that you like to, have partaken more than one male? Or you like to do things that you shouldn't be doing? That once the veil is taken off, that you go into repent mode and say, yes, I'm ashamed, and I'm going to give y'all back all your money. I'm going to give you back your honey too. Or will you go into, well, ain't none of y'all know better than me. I'm this, I'm that. I've been a nurse all these years, and I've been a mother, and y'all can't judge me. Or will we humble ourselves under the mighty hand of God? There's the scripture that says, if my people, which are called by my name, since we all are in this era where Black folks is figuring out who they are for the most part, we in this woke time where we think that because we claiming to be a Hebrew or a Christian or Muslim or anything else other than yourself, that we think that that means that that's going to cover us. You think that that's going to overshadow how you treat your husband and your wife behind closed doors? You think that's going to overshadow how you treat your children? You think that's going to overshadow how you treat your neighbor? It's not. So I want to motivate us to get to a place where we examine our own heart. That's what the class that I had. Now, I will say that that's where I got support from. I took a class. I go to a study group class on Wednesdays and Fridays. And there's a whole lot of self-examination. I wish I could share with all of you. And I am going to get to a point where I can, but I want to make sure that I get in all of y'all. Because I'm thinking, I've been known for beating myself up for being a perfectionist. Yes, I have known for that. Yes, I confess. To the point where I told you, if I can't get y'all the raw, the real, the truth, not just about you, but about myself, then I'm not coming before you. See, I got a taste of that, being forced to do that and being encouraged to do that. But now that it's just me, I don't have to do that no more, y'all. I can be the authentic, full 100%, 100%, 1,000,000% who God created me to be without being cut off. Oh, praise be to God. And no, I am very aware that there is a text that a lot of, unfortunately, that a lot of unlearned other counterparts like to use, that the women should be silent. I said, only when you're sowing discord, only when you are making trouble, not when you are speaking life into people, not when you are encouraging those, not when you're being a mother, not when you're being a sister, not when you're trying to be your brother and sister's keeper. This is the reason why you hear me balance this thing out. But there are too many of us that have these platforms. There are too many of us that have positions that's not even on the platform, that we're not called out about it enough. We don't feel like we have to give an account when we make a certain amount of money. We don't have to feel like we have to give an account when we have support system. When we know good and well, in most cases, people don't even know what they're supporting. That's the reason why you'll see a lot of change of a lot of extra people coming and going. I just got asked that question a few days ago. What happened to these people? What happened to their people? I said they found out. That's what happened. They found out that what they were supporting was not real, was not true, was not of God. Not truly. They found out that God was being pimped, as they say, that religion and the way of lifestyle was actually was put on the forefront for profit. And now they just learned how to do it in a more clever way by using those who are most vulnerable. And no, I know it's hard, y'all, but this is a problem all over the world. This is not just one person. This is a problem all over the world. And I like to encourage my people that tune in to not to be like that. For us to each one teach one, for us to help each other when our brothers and sisters are struggling. And yeah, you're going to get lashed out on. That's what happens. How many of you all that ever grew up getting spanking? I know I did. I grew up. Did you ever grab that belt when you got hit with that belt? How many of y'all took the punishment without complaining, knowing that that was going to make you get another punishment, or you're probably going to not just have to watch this for a day. Now you want to watch for 3 days. If you keep sassing mouth, so now you want to watch for a whole week. If you keep sassing mouth some more and want to be more disarrayed, now you're finna get hit. See, I grew up in that era where the more and more you try to fight against your chastisement, that's the more harder your punishment is going to be. Yeah, I grew up in that era. So before I could come before you all, I already had plenty of elders. So be careful, you all, even also. I'm inspiring you all on this Motivational Monday to make sure that you watch out when people say that they're glad they don't have no leadership over them. because all that means is that I want to do things how I want to do it, because every leader is not a bad leader. I'm going to say it again. Every leader is not considered not a good leader, especially if we were just going to go off of how healthy they are. Too many of our elders have been there and done that. Yes, I give the accolades back to our leaders, and it's not just everybody that's dead. Anybody can give credit to folks that's dead. Anybody can give credit to somebody that has helped them make some money. Anybody can give credit to somebody that will cover their sins. But the true character of us comes out when you have to do what's necessary. And that's go back into that childhood one. Go back to that little wounded girl. Go back to that little wounded boy and find out what was originally in you to do. And if you found out that that was negative and that was bad, and that is what's caused you to be discouraged and not being able to make it to where God wants you to be in life, then by all means, you can go pray for that. Well, I was given up as a child. My mom and them gave me away. Now that means we have to pray for the loneliness. Now that means you have to find the people around you that won't make you feel like that just because you didn't have your biological mother and father, that doesn't make you a misfit. Now you got to find people with real pure love. I'm one. Yeah, as much as y'all hear me talk about family, I'm one. And no, I'm not from Africa. I'm one, but my people, they put that love in us, no matter where you were in your space and in your place. And it doesn't mean that everything has been peaches and creams either. Doesn't mean that nobody's ever had a fallout. It doesn't mean that. But it teaches us how to accept when someone is different from you, even if they have a different belief system from you. It taught us what we simply call the love of God. Because we live in part of this system that has taught us how to have a Willie Lynch syndrome is what I call it, mentality. I don't like you because you're tall. I don't like her because you're short. I don't like her because she's light skinned. I don't like her because she's dark skinned. I don't like her because she got nappy hair. I don't like her because she thinks she's cute because she got straight hair. I don't like her because I just don't like the sound of her voice. I don't like him because I don't like how he laughs. We grew up in those type of criticizing type of places and spaces where we miss the internal part of us for judging the external. From not paying attention to, okay, what's really causing this person to constantly have to get to a place to where they're always homeless? What's really ailing my brother to where every time you look up, he feel like he got to shoot up? What's really going on with my sister that she feel like she has to go sell her body out there on the street? And I know, y'all know, see, I was raised to say that because the child need to be saved. She needs Jesus. I was raised to say that she needs Jesus. But how many of us know that even with those who said that they found Jesus and they went to the church and all they did was continue to be in the church. And now they done given their body to every man that was weak enough and willing enough. Now they're giving their body to every man in the church. So that's not the answer. I'm learning that that's not the answer. Well, I want to come and say, I want to join some mosques because I want to be a man. And then you find that there are a few of those that would come in and before you know it, they hate women. They so into wanting to be a man where they don't like women. Yeah, I said it. That has nothing to do with the teachings. I know for a fact that that's not what they teach. But because of this imbalancement, because we've not had this safe place or space to be where we can be vulnerable. And then when we finally feel vulnerable and we realize that people see what we are, we see the level of pain. We see where we have decreased in being the great person that we can be. Give me 1 second, you all. One second. When we see we have been, we get to the place where we see where we have to be an open book. Because see, they taught us to cover ourselves. Now there is one other issue that I see psychologically that has stopped us from being able to really feel like we can open our minds and be open to who we are without and endure criticism and endure constructive criticism without lashing out in pain, is because of this nature, this culture that we have. And I call it culture, the culture that we have, that we must cover ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we have those, because we've been brainwashed into believing that just because you show a little skin, that means that you, a woman or a man, has to be so weak minded to where I have to have sex with this person, I have to drool over this person. Just even being taught that we can't eat fast, but yet you go to other countries, you see it's nothing to us, it's normal, because it's not, the culture was to accept that you're going to respect this woman whether her breast is out or not. You're going to respect this woman whether her what you call is out or not. Now, does that mean that they're fully respecting them? Absolutely not. My point is that we have to get to a place where we encourage each other to have the love of God in us and to treat each other's right. I never forgot that I came across a documentary one time when I saw, and I can't remember what channel it was that I was looking at, but it was an African tribe. Actually, it was an African tribe. And they showed how when a young male, he did something. I don't know if he had stole or if he had got at one of the young ladies or what, but they showed where when he got in trouble, instead of them reprimanding him, you all, they gathered all of the men in the village around him. It looked like it was about 20 or 30, maybe a little more. And they formulated a circle. I can't remember what tribe it was, but it wasn't none of these popular tribes. I can tell you that much. And they grabbed it, and they all went in, and each elder man went to him and spoken to him to the point, I don't know what they were saying, but whatever they spoke to him, it broke the young man down into tears. He fell to his knees. And whatever life that they spoken to that young man after getting in trouble, that young man, before I knew, each elder was coming to embrace him and give him a hug. And they embraced him. And there was a few that went and took him off to continue the work, the training that they were using, they was training him in, so that he could become a more responsible man. So this is the reason why I say, if you see people, you all be learning from people that say that they glad that they don't have no overseer, no oversight, and they just want to be the one to only tell everybody something, and only want to embrace those who agree with everything that they say and do in their philosophy and their system. Then this is how you know that you're waiting to watch them actually go to a shipwreck. It doesn't matter how well they're doing. Remember, it's about the journey. And that's the same for us women. We live in a society where our women, where we criticize our dad. That has never been my position in life, and I'm really thankful to God that it hasn't been. I was just on the phone not long ago with one of my siblings, and they were expressing how something was frustrating to them because they were trying to get a birthday gift to my son. And she's having difficulties with the way that the process of sending. And she was like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And so she finally, I just told her, I said, I've learned, this is what I've learned, sis. I said, I've learned that when people have a different way of lifestyle, it's not always meant for us to understand their way of life. It's just meant for you to only figure out the part that you can understand and for you to just do. Your intentions is great and what you want to do is good. Now just do it when you're able to. You don't have to understand the whole process. And that is what some of our problem is, I believe. This motivation might not like to inspire us. When you get on these internets, y'all hear me say it all the time. When you get on here, try your best to pray to God. That is my everyday prayer, that because I am too one that like to learn every day, and I find out something every day that I did not know. That I try my best to ask God to help me not to be forever learning, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. Because it is truly the truth that shall set us free. But I'm going to go as far as to say also, only when you apply the truth. I've had people to tune in to me, and once again, that's why I say when you learn and you notice what was in you as a child that you love to do before all the chaos broke out. I'm only speaking for those who didn't wasn't birthed until wasn't traumatized at birth. I'm going to speak to those that felt some form of normalcy to them at this point. When you think back about that really brought you joy as a child. It's important for us to go back into that stage, y'all, and ask God to look for those things that bring you back to that place. I'm not talking about riding your Tonka truck. I'm not talking about riding your big wheel. Of course I'm not. Not unless you're an engineer and you want to now make some toys for some children. See there? But if you was a writer then, start writing now. You'll be surprised how much that release stress from you, even if it's just your journal. If you like to cook, then you like smelling grandma cooking, and you feel like, and it's no age or stage where you can actually enhance your culinary art skills. No age or stage. I know that for a fact. There's no age where you can where you have to stop cooking. I just shared that with one of my other clients where their grandson has called in to try to make sure, and he was saying that how she don't have to worry about cooking now. He was saying the grandmother don't have to worry about cooking. She's past 80. I told you I love my 80 something. I love all of y'all, but I especially love them because I know how much I can only imagine that if we're blessed to be able to get to that 80-something mark, that how we will be so set in our ways. But he had said something unknowingly, not understanding, and he meant well. And he was like, well, I was telling Ma that she doesn't have to worry about cooking no more. We're going to cook all her food for her. I said, I said, if I may, please. He said, go ahead, doctor. I said, you can't take, because she's able to walk and she's able to cook some things that she because she was saying how certain things that she was new dishes she was trying and didn't turn out like she wanted to because she had never cooked them before. And I said, no, what you and your wife can do for your mother is take and show her a few simple things, a few nice, good plant-based dishes that's healthy for her that she can cook, make it a family affair when you come to visit. But don't take away her ability to cook. That's what she did in order to help raise you, to get you to a healthy place. I said, that's therapeutic. That's help. That's healing. That's part of her natural order of being a woman is in her era, in her time. She cooked. She shoots the family. She raised all y'all. You can't take it away from her. If she's coherent enough, she's able. Have her cook us a little simple meal. Don't take her cooking abilities away. But see, on his end, he was thinking about, oh no, how we just want to be able to help her so she don't have to worry about doing that. No, it wasn't a worry to her. It's what she loved to do. Because her thinking about losing the ability to do that after doing it for 60 plus, 70 plus years. Can you imagine for her to have a grandchild to rise up and think just because they have some knowledge or because they try to be a help that they're telling her that she ain't got to? No, she wanted to. So I'm saying find those things you are. And I know a lot of us, we have a lot of good intentions, but there's a saying that sometimes the good intentions, the road to good intentions is the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I believe that to be true sometimes. Because God knows I have experienced that, y'all, where I've had good intentions about certain things and it didn't turn out right because the intentions of the other person who I was given the benefit of the doubt was not good. So that means we have to be healthy minded enough. You have to know yourself, learn yourself enough, learn those good qualities that's in you that you're interested in spiritually and naturally. And you have to learn how to grow within that no matter what age and stage you are in life. Don't say it can't be done. I'm a living witness. It can be done. I told you my first year being an empty nester, official year. And I was like, oh my God, I used to think about what I used to hear when I would be counseling and speaking to some of my elder women. And they were like, oh, that's all right. And then I had a cousin that did the same thing. She was like, who knows? It's not that. She didn't mean no harm, but oh my God, she most definitely, after being with her for a few weeks, she didn't mean no harm, y'all. But she say, oh, y'all, that's why both my daughters decided to leave at the same time when they're 18 and 22, and they decided to move in together. And you don't want their cousins, not good to be alone. And I was like, oh God. she wasn't trying to discourage me, and it also was her way of letting me know, no, stay here with me, cousin. And I'm like, so I'm not gonna lie, for about 30 days I was struggling mentally. I was struggling. I was like, oh man, am I gonna feel like that? I'm like, we do got a lot in common. We are family. We are family. But I had to pray that thing off of me, y'all. I had to pray. I said, Father, help me not to feel it. For I know it, I'm sitting up in the couch. Hey, this is transparent moment, y'all. Hey, here he is keeping the 1 million. I sat up in that seat. Look, I'm in my office. I'm sitting on the couch, and I thought about not hearing the voice of my daughter. I thought about not hearing nobody call me to ask me to fix them nothing to eat. I thought about a whole lot of things, y'all. I thought about my sons, and I'm thinking, before I know it, I'm crying. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about what she said. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is all. Now, beforehand, I wasn't thinking like that. I was thinking about how much more work I got to do. And I'm like, whew. So who you speak to? Once again, the intentions was not bad. She was just expressing how she felt. And it influenced me at that time because she's older than me. She's my older cousin, and she was there for me when she wouldn't even let me get my daughter's dress. She bought my daughter's dress and picked it out and everything, and I wanted to do it, but she's like, no, cousin, let me do it. This is when Najee transitioned, you all. And she's the one that covered all that. She made sure that, so you can only imagine how dear she is to my heart. And she's always been giving like this, and she's just one of those beautiful cousins. And she just sharing it to me, and I'm like, oh my Father. But I had to bring myself out of it, y'all. I had to encourage myself so that I could be able to have strength enough to come back before you all and encourage you all. So I know how it happens. I just can't allow myself to do it because I've been so much encouragement, and so much of the word of God is embedded in my soul to where I can't. There's a scripture that says, his word have I hid in my heart so that I might not sin against thee. Notice the word might, because we are very much so an imperfect being. And this is the reason why I believe in us getting to a place to where we can be more transparent. Because when you take ownership, you all, one thing I've learned is that not just watching others, but when you take ownership for the role that you played in not being that positive force that you should have been in those who have been placed in your life and in your circle. It's easy to do it when you're doing business. It's even easy sometimes to do it when it's not easy. But let's say that the motivating factor when you're making money, and a motivating factor when you're in spiritual or so-called religious circles, is that we're good with massing over with the Bible. We're good with saying, oh, look how much money we made today. But to do that on a personal level, where you're pushing all that to the side, and you have that one-on-one, and say, okay, now where are you, Sister Keisha? Which, by the way, greetings to you, Sister Keisha. Where are you? How you feeling today? How's life treating you today? You can look at her and say, Sister Candy, how you doing? How your daughter doing? Are you feeling like you've been appreciated now for all the hard work that you've done? How's your husband doing? How's the family doing? When you can look at somebody and say, Sister Dorothy, okay, how was your birthday? Did you feel like you were celebrated enough? Did you really, truly feel like you were appreciated? Did all the grandkids get you a gift, or did some of them forget to give grandmama a gift because they so ready to get to grandmama so grandmama can watch them? No, I had to get you. Yeah, I didn't forget how many grandchildren you said you had, Mother Dorothy, Sister Dorothy. I didn't forget the Cash App. Yes, ma'am. The Cash App is still the same information. Yes, ma'am. Um, Sister Dorothy, like I didn't forget about the over 10 or more of grandchildren. That's when it becomes personal. That's how I believe that even if you don't have the title of minister, even if you don't have the title of missionary, the title of a teacher, the title of mom and dad, I believe that this is where we have to get to. This is the mindset that we should have as far as showing love and concern for each other. And yes, you do have to know the right timing for things like that. Yes, you do have to set your some boundaries. Yes, you do. I was just experiencing that with my daughter today. She said, "No, Ma, I spoke to." She was saying I was asking her, did she speak to a family member that birthday was in this month? And she said, "Yeah, I was, but I was doing some spirit." Yep, I'm telling her, yeah, it's my daughter Naomi. She said, "Yeah, Mama, but I'm doing my spiritual work on myself. And, I've been reading real good and a lot of good stuff. And I just wanted to just keep my brain just real positive and focus on that development while I get this break from work. And I'm just learning some things. I just didn't want to talk to that person at the time." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, I do understand. I said, then set a time frame. But by all means, if someone's not done anything and they have not done anything to disturb peace, then by all means, at least give them the greetings. And let them know that that's where you are right now, where you're just giving yourself some mental space and break to develop yourself spiritually, and that you're going through your growing stage. I'm sure they will understand because I know who she was talking about. Okay, Mama, I can do that. Now, what all God is that 10? She said, yes, 10 of them. Yeah, it don't even look like it. You look so beautiful. That's a blessing. Um, yeah, and so I have to deal with this on a personal level, you all, because we getting so used to just getting these lists of things that you can do, and you're not going to walk around all day long with a list, but you will not forget the power of the power of someone that's overcome through their own testimony. That's why we're so convinced the byproduct when you hear testimonies. Think about it. But what about that personal testimony, that personal struggle? I don't know about y'all, but I have tons of that. Even when I come and visit, I'm in the days now, and even when I come and visit different ones that I'm working with and that God has placed in my life, once again, I'm not going to bring a whole list of foods that I'm supposed to eat. Now, of course, I know what I'm supposed to eat, but I'm just using it as an example. I'm not even going to open up my phone all the time. I may not want to because I don't want to be tempted to see something on there. And like, I don't know if y'all like me, I got a couple of favorite things I like to see, but more importantly, documentaries is my addiction. And y'all know how long them documentaries take. So I had to get in. So I literally have space. Okay, I watch a document maybe once every 2 weeks now because they're so long, 2-3 hours. The ones that I'm looking at are long, but very informative though. And then I have to do on top of the documentary, so that I could be a little bit more well versed since I'm all over the world. And then I know there's always somebody that specializes in whatever I am encountering. So I got to call them up to verify a few things. And so that takes up time sometimes. Saying all that to say that, yes, we got to monitor that time frame. Let me see, I'm trying to see you now. Let me see, my 12-year-old granddaughter, Ava. Oh, look at that name, Ava. I got a cousin named Ava. A very special gift, but I was thankful to have all of them there at one time. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I so love hearing stuff like that. Girl, don't make me cry. I love it. And they say those of us in America don't know how to come as a family, huh? Whatever. That's your family. That ain't everybody's family. And our prayers go out to those who don't, because I know what it feels like to not be able to family special days, but that is a beautiful thing. And Mother, Sister Dorothy, you know that's how it used to be. And so you're at a healthy place and stage in your life for you and your husband, which, by the way, I was just talking about, I have to take a break from all that deepness, y'all. I was just talking about to someone when as I was strolling down and I saw the birthday thing, and I was like, wow, y'all beautiful she looks. Like, do you see all them pretty long locks that she got in? You just got a youthfulness of it and how tall and straight. I'm thinking, oh, I don't know kids. Oh, I know they wish they could get some over on her. But they can't. And so that is a beautiful thing that we have that, and that is to be acknowledged today, y'all, where we are. Everybody can't lead the country. Everybody can't, ain't nowhere to run and hide. You had to deal with your people where you are. It's best to, unless your mind just because there are some that have to. I know a few. I ain't gonna call no names. I ain't gonna bust them out. I know a few that got mental problems where they got to be elsewhere because they just if this ain't gonna be right if they can't get a different environment because of their brains, because they cannot deal with not having a lot of attention. But for those of us that's here that can embrace and actually figure out ways to be together. And then, my God, what we are with grandmother. See, I'm just a grandmother of one son through my son, y'all. And so I know how it feels to watch him and just the vision of seeing him grow up and looking like his daddy, and the joy that it brings in my heart, and all of the things I'm thinking about that I didn't get a chance to do with my son that I can do with my grandson, just gives you something to live for. It does. It gives you something to live for. And I know it ain't been easy because I come from a big family. I know how rough it can be. And then you got all them different parents and different ones. And then our children grow up and they think that they know more than you do. And in some ways they do. In some areas, some small little areas. But the wisdom is supposed to be with us. So that's beautiful. I am so thankful to hear that all you were able to see all your grandchildren and your children for your birthday. I love hearing about that. Yes. And yes, my son, what he chose to do, because he's out of town, what he chose to do, y'all, was it was crazy. It wasn't crazy. It was good. Crazy. He wrote me a Hey Mama song and poem, and it just brought me to tears. He collaborated in the passing of my daughter, my mom, and in the song is asking how am I doing, and it's encouraging at the same time. And I'm gonna let him, when the time comes, I'm gonna let him come on and say it to you all. Prayerfully, he'll be able to do it on the anniversary of my daughter, of Najee's passing of her anniversary. We'll see. If I'm encouraged to do it in an early time, then I will. But it brought me to tears. I said, boy, you can take this far. I said, you gonna put Tupac to shame. And I said, okay, Father, that is a beautiful thing to see yourself and to know that God thought enough of you to allow you to reproduce yourself in your children and your seed. And to cherish that and to fight for that, no matter what. That says a lot about you as a person. It says that you do need a lot of help. We do need to be encouraged to learn how to love ourselves enough to fight for ourselves. And your children do represent that. They do. I know what I'm talking about, y'all. I've been through the fire and the storm with it. I've been through it. And I'm telling you, you got to, because you're fighting for part of yourself within them. And it teaches us how to forbear one another when need be. When need be. I didn't say to allow us to kill each other. I didn't say to allow nobody to come and tear your family apart. I mean, it teaches us good character and how to be a community, how to actually produce unity. See, where there's already a community and unity, anybody can breeze into that because it's already there. But to have your own and to create your own and do right by your own, that's where it starts. That's all biblical. But see, we like to focus on what we like to focus on, what we think that makes us look like we great people. And that comes second. That comes second. I said it. How you look, Mother Dorothy? You got 10 grandchildren, and here you are. You decide that you're not gonna watch none of your grandchildren, but yeah, you ready to watch somebody else's grandchild. And here it is, you able to chastise them. You able to, the parents. I know it's not easy breezy, but they know grandmama house. How do you feel if you had to go get a whole nother group of grandchildren and what you do? Come on, y'all see where I'm going with that? No, that's not. And I know we live in a society where they've told our people that that's okay to do that, but it's not. Because what you see when they see it in other countries, they gloat about how the other countries are doing it while they're not doing it themselves. That's hypocrisy. You shine the light on what you're supposed to be doing, not making excuses. It's easy to drop and run. It's easy for us to give up, you all, when the going gets tough. It is easy. Once again, if no one is threatening your life, no one is trying to molest your children. I said it. No one is trying to cause you to be, put you in a mental institution just because hard time, then there's no reason why we should. No. You're not getting beat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or just for dinner, or once a week, or once a month. See, I got criteria to this. There he is. Then, so that's the reason why you all don't hear me seem like people are, well, how could she say that? Because the circumstances calls for me to be able to depart. I'm not going to be put in nobody's crazy home because of my body playing mind games for me. I encourage for you all to do the same, to not to be placed in that place like that. And I know I lost a few because of that, but it's okay. I'm not saying it to judge you. I'm saying it to encourage you all to don't give up. And I know sometimes the circumstances are different when you're not able, but there are too many of our circumstances, especially when you got money. If you got enough money to help other people and money to do other things, and you got enough for your family to keep your family together. Yeah, I said it. To take care of your own children. Yeah, I said it. To do right by those who you done wrong. Yep, I said it. Because it's true, y'all. We got to stop selling for less for ourselves. If we got to go hunt down good, healthy food just to put in our body so you have energy and strength to be able to do your work, to take care of yourself and your family, then by all means, whoever is over making sure that you do that, whoever you're partnering up to do that with, they got to be held accountable too. This is part of the desensitizing of us. This is the reason why they want to have the Wi-Fi so much, so part to it's burning your brain cells while you can't think straight. This is the reason why somebody that constantly has, and that's what I noticed. Yeah, I had noticed within the past 2 years of me getting to a place where I had to constantly be before that computer every day, talking about get some money. Yeah, I said it. Talking about some stars. Yeah, I said it. It's my experience, my testimony, that it was starting to fog my brain. And my brain was too overly stimulated. I had to pray more. I had to write in my journal more. I had to pray. I had to find my room. I had to go in my guest room and find a prayer room. It was, I could tell the difference. My vision was starting to blur. I had to find a little space for about 30 minutes because I sure couldn't get no whole lot of time. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't allow this. I can't allow my sleep time to be dictated. I'm not going to allow nobody to wake me up like they God, like they my God. No, I wake up when God tell me to wake up. I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to sleep like I'm a grown up when I want to go to sleep. See where I'm going with that, y'all? I cry when I want to cry. I eat when I want to eat. I fast when I need to fast. I walk when I want to walk. And I sure enough gonna talk when I want to talk. Y'all, if ain't nobody controlling you like that or trying to, then by all means, take advantage of your freedom to be able to invest in yourself and into your family. Take advantage of the prayer time that you can get, the meditation time you get, the time you can get to walk, the time that you can just be able to go out in front of the truck on your time frame and actually smell some flowers, do some simple things. It'll help encourage you. I promise you it will. Because this world is set up now to have us so distracted with everything that don't matter. Everything that does not matter. It ain't going to matter when it's your time you're going to be on that deathbed. What you going to be looking for? You've been looking for your family. You're going to be wondering where your daughter and your son, if you got children there, that's what you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for your husband. If you got a husband or your wife, where my wife at? Where my husband at? That's what you're going to be looking for. You're not going to be worried about how many times I got a like on social media. Not going to be worried about how many people wondered whether or not you was 5 pounds or 10 pounds. I promise you that's not what you're going to be. I promise you. I've been by the bed of people who was taking their last breath, you all. They were, especially when I was a CNA, that's what they would call me in for, to get the people dressed. Sat down beside them. So they go to show you, yes, I was prepared. I was prepped for this. Yes, I was. They say God won't put no more on you than you can bear. It's true. He's true. You're in training and don't. Some of us are in training and don't realize it. But I had to sit and I had about time the body went into rigor mortis. And no, that was not supposed to be my position. But I guess because they figured I was strong enough to do it and I was in a spiritual place and space to be able to do it, that they would call me. And I'm sure it had something to do with them being short-staffed too. Some of y'all that's been CNAs and nurses, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, and I would just, and I would get them dressed and get them set. And I'll have to call the family, whoever's next of kin. But I made sure too, I noticed some of them, I noticed when there was not family coming in and out to visit them. I noticed that. And you all have to know that that's what some of us are doing now today. That's what social media is about. We want to gather people together sometimes. And we want to formally, we want to reach out and touch someone. Some of us, not all. And we want to have them there so that you can create a whole nother family. But it still won't be to say, I don't believe that it's not the same as that you are truly connected to spiritually and in the bloodline. But spiritually, yes, can override the blood sometimes. Yes, it can. But we're not supposed to skip over the bloodline deliberately because you want to feel like you're more spiritual. No, you work within your household. Did we not teach our children? How is it that the scripture tells us to train up a child in the way they should go? And when they get older, they will not depart from it. It said older. It didn't give a specific age, y'all. So train up. How are you training up something and you're not there? Try to get there, y'all. And those of y'all that's blessed to have family members to come back to you, or you're blessed to have spouses to come back to you, and they're coming back in a righteous way. They're coming back in the right spirit. Yeah, I had to add that in there. Ask God to give you strength to show forth the love of God to do that. Don't be that. Hey, anybody that told you that I have not done that in my life, they lied. I look right here. Look at my face. Look at my face, y'all. Look at my eyes. They lied. I'm gonna do you like my grandmama Mel used. They lied. They lied. And ain't no truth in them. They lied. All right. I love you all. I really do. And I don't know what time frame I'm at the 7:10. Yeah, I got on at like 5:30. So yep, I made it to the 2 hour mark. I said about out, y'all, but yeah, let me talk about something. But I'm so thankful. Anybody else got any birthdays? Put it in the chat so we can share. I know this was a deep one, y'all, talking about family and holding ourselves accountable for our actions and loving your families first, and then putting each other in getting to a place to where we can actually challenge ourselves, examine ourselves. I know God has worked on me about it. So you say, what is it that I do? I'm very hard on myself. That's what I am. I'm very hard on myself. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm very hard on myself. If I don't succeed in certain things that I want to do, I'll ponder over it. And I can hear the voice and stop doing that. So shout out to dear beloved elder mother Denise. She told me the other day when I was trying to go over some studies, some homework, she said, I'm finna take the bat out of your hand. She took me to the garden, showed me all these big, beautiful elephant plants that she's done grown and all the squash and all the okra. She took me back to childhood, y'all. She did. Yes, she did. Her dear beloved husband did the same thing. My dear beloved brother, elder, they are at the stage where they could be my parents. And they said, she said, I'm taking the bat out of your hand. Now, go get yourself grounded. Get into the grass. Get yourself grounded. So I took off my shoes. It was nice and sunny on that. That was Friday. And I stood in the grass that was not sprayed with pesticide. Let me say that. And she said, now say what it is that you remember. And so I did. I started to quote what I remembered. And then before you know it, she saw how many phone calls that came through, because that was the time, y'all, that I didn't have no scheduled appointments. And she saw it. She said, yeah, I know you're a very important young lady. She said, but we're not going to do this to you. She said, you're very important. You was right. I guess you need to cut that phone off. I said that. She said, because you need this. I said, yes, ma'am, I do. And I'm going to get it. But I'm thankful for people like that in my life that God has blessed. But I pray that you all get to have the same in your life. I pray that if you don't have it, that I'm able to be there for you when need be. So don't forget to call in. Take advantage, y'all. Come on now. I'm doing this to my daughter. Thank you so much for whoever just sent the cash out. I don't know who it is. Let me look and see. Oh, Sister Dorothy, thank you so much for the cash out. Thank you so much. How do you give me? It's your birthday. I gotta give you something for your birthday. I had to send you something. Send that address back through again for me, Sister Dorothy. That's how we do it, because you're the birthday queen. But thank you so much. And that's what I mean by love and giving spirits, you all. That's what we're supposed to be. I got beat up one time. Well, I didn't get literally beat up, but they beat me up verbally. I invited out some sisters for my birthday. Well, I didn't. Someone years ago had set it up for me, for them to surprise me. And because I had it financially, I wanted to pay for everybody for taking out the time to come, because most of them were mothers and wives. And I thought it was sweet that they all thought enough for me to come out. And so I wanted to pay for all the food. Boy, they chopped me up so good. You know what? That's not how you got. You know, y'all know how our sisters is. It's your birthday. I say exactly. So that means I should be able to do what I want to do, right? They taught me old good old lesson. By the time that thing came, they snatched that paper off my hand. I'm like, y'all getting pretty brave now. Made that feel. And I was sitting there looking stupid, like, okay. But that's just where my heart was, y'all, is what I'm trying to explain. And this is how we're supposed to be one to another. That's how you know the heart of it, because even when you are one that's supposed to be celebrated, you want to most definitely give back, and not give it back to the point where it's always about somebody giving back to you. Yes, it's a lot of people that I want to help. Yes, it's good products and it costs a lot of money to do these things. But at the same time, we cannot lose sight of the principle of us showing love one to another at the right time either. It's easy to give when you're making it 100 times more, and I can say that because I know most of us don't. It's easy to give when you're making 100 times more over most people. It's easy to beg when you want to keep that amount. But how much more challenging, I'd say, that we have to get to a place, if that's where your mind is at, then that we have to get to a place where we want to be the givers without thinking about what you're going to get in return. And I know some of y'all say, well, Dr. Chef, you're taking out 2 hours of your time to come and speak to us a few days out the week. And so, yes, you're supposed to pay for it. Yeah, that's good. That lets me know that you do appreciate. At the same time, I'm doing this because it's something that I most definitely know that God has called me to do. Until he give me another assignment, then I'll do that. But I have to do it whether I get paid or not. That being said, thank you so much again, Sister Dorothy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sister Sybil. Thank you much, Sister Yolanda. Thank you so much, Brother Allen. Thank you so much, Sister Tyra. Sister who else? Sister Lauren, different ones that have given. Thank you so much for all of you all that taking out the time. I never take that for granted, that we all have lives and responsibilities. No, I'm not going to ask you for your snack money. I'm not going to ask you for your junk money. I do believe in us having accountability, giving accountability for yourself. I don't believe in guilt trips. I don't believe in it at all. I don't believe in pressing you all to do, because I believe in the scripture says that we ought to be cheerful givers, not begrudging givers, not ones that have to be forced. I don't believe in that, because there's nowhere biblically that we know, and it never turns out right no way. Because what happens is that when you try to force or beg people to do things, this is just what I've learned, y'all. You try to beg and force and guilt trip people into doing something for you. Usually that means that when it's time for them to find your flaw and to see what it is they're doing, they're gonna remind you real good, and they're gonna want back what they invested into you. Because today we have access to everybody now, and everybody. You can find health information anywhere now. You can get good speaking from anywhere now. And I'm just fully aware of that. And I can't be in competition with it because I'm too busy trying to compete with what God wants me to be. I just ain't never been good at that. I like, if you put me on the track field, yeah, I'm gonna run. If you put me on the board game, yep, I'm gonna play. Yep, it's on and Papa like it. But not when it comes down to character, not when it comes down to your self-worth and knowing that what you do, only what you do for Christ, only what you do for the love of God will truly last. It's not something that you can just regurgitate from the mouth, but it's something that has to be a full act. And it is something that, yes, when you do speak it, people do need to feel it. So thank you all for opening up your heart, making out your time to invest some time into me, to hear out the Motivational Monday, that I pray that it inspires some of you all and encourage some of you all to be the best you could be, and to not to give up, never give in. Remember, I'm going to still use the slogan for this year because it still applies on Motivational Monday. Remember to be healthy more for 2024. That means spiritually, naturally, that means physically, that means, and that's all in one. There be a Trinity for you right there. For those who say they believe in Trinity, that's a 3-in-1 special. All right. I love you all. Thank you all so much for the cash apps. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all so much for just being you and being a child of God. Bye. Gotta go. Oh, this got on my nerves. I needed me a pen. Yep. I saw that cousin kind of pulling and tugging. Ooh, my sister gonna get me for that. She's like, so you're showing all your business now, huh? No, yeah, I wasn't trying to do that. They say, yep, you did. Make sure you put out another top. I can see my mama now. My mama was alive today. She'd be to send the text, fix your top up. I forgot mama had fix your top up. I love you. Bye-bye. Keep up the good work. That's the kind of mama I had, y'all. Yeah. Go ahead and fix that.